kwa media. Huwezi kuingilia. Nenda kushika mabana kama hivi. Ndio unateseka lakini sasa. Wewe toa mambo yako bwana. Sisi hata anakasirika.
Mwanaume. Tunaambiwa bibadi.
Kama unataka kukumbuka siku ile ulizaliwa.
Hata usikumbuke. Tutakuwa wewe ni
corona. Unajua corona ndio kitu
basi.
Kuna
Are you ready?
We're ready, tunataka tupangwe hao watu wakuje huko. So nakuja hivi. Yes, I think the story inaweza kuwa relevant. Yaani with the happening zenye zinaenda.
Wasimame aje huko.
Hapo hivyo sawa.
hivyo sawa.
Hewa mpya iko wapi? Unataka hewa mpya?
Ile ni ya microphone umeweka wapi? Ile holder. Ya receiver.
Hewa mpya. Maybe you can enter the lab. Even there's a song. We'll send you the information.
Sawa. Kali amalizo kuja microphone.
Sasa unaona hapa kamera ziko mbele
Lakini hapa ungekuja mtu wa boda mmoja.
juu na hizi mjaribu kuzini kidogo. Patikana at least yoko.
You know for you now you cross the line. Hakuna vile nenda. You cross the Rubicon.
Sawa.
I am Professor Fred Ogola. I am the leader of Linda Jamii. I'm here with my fellow members of Bunge la Wananchi, Malindi chapter. We are here to address the media on the matter where Linda Jamii has taken the United Democratic Party, Kenya Kwanza administration to court because they are violating the socio-economic rights and the fundamental rights of the freedoms of Boda and Mama Mboga. So Linda Jamii has sued the Kenya Kwanza administration for using the goodwill of Mama Mboga and Boda without permission for political gain. The High Court has been asked to fine Kenya Kwanza a total of 426 billion shillings, which is the worth for the goodwill of Boda and Mama Mboga. Why are we reaching that figure? Boda and Mama Mboga contributes 80%. That whole sector contributes 80% of the GDP. Boda alone contributes 1 billion shillings per year to the economy. If you take annually, that is 365 billion shillings that he contributes in terms of revenue to the Kenyan economy. So we are asking the following. The court should declare that Kenya Kwanza administration, their employees and everybody else should not use the term Boda Boda and Mama Mboga without permission until this case is heard and determined. Secondly, the court should declare that Kenya Kwanza administration should be able to compensate Boda Boda and Mama Mboga a total of 426 billion shillings, which is the goodwill which they used to reach into power. So just to give you a reason why, because when you stereotype and you stigmatize Boda Boda people saying that hii serikali ni ya Boda Boda and Mama Mboga, the other people who are not in this government feel that it is the Boda Boda and Mama Mboga that brought this government to power, and therefore they are having some bad reaction towards them. There's a bad spirit. And also there's a psychological trauma to the Boda Boda people and Mama Mboga people when everybody feels wao ndio wako kwa serikali lakini hawako. Ya pili, they also feel traumatized because everybody is feeling that ujeuri yao ndio iliweka hii serikali kuchukua uongozi. So we know that during the election 2022, which took place on 9th of August, Kenya Kwanza administration using the party called UDA came with a campaign called Bottom Up, and they came with a hustler narrative, wakisema watatengeneza serikali ya Boda Boda and Mama Mboga. And on that day, which is 9th, Kenya Kwanza swept to power the senators, MPs, MCAs, governors in the wave of Mama Mboga and Boda Boda government being formed. In fact, we have been told that there are some members of the MCAs that were actually former Boda Boda and Mama Mboga. Whether it's true or not, they were just using that thing as a way to use the goodwill that has been built by Boda Boda and Mama Mboga over the years. Remember, the history of Boda Boda and Mama Mboga goes long before Kenya Kwanza was formed, long before UDA was formed, even long before they were born. So they have ridden on this Boda Boda, Mama Mboga narrative to take power, and they have peddled a lot of lies and said that they are the ones forming the government, yet that is not true. So these utterances expose these persons to many people in Kenya and outside the country that they are actually the beneficiaries of Kenya Kwanza, and that actually that is not true and is completely false. So our urge here is that we want to ask court to declare that Kenya Kwanza used the goodwill of Boda Boda Mama Mboga, and therefore they should stop using it until the case is heard and determined. At the same time, we want to urge any other political formation, political body, that you should respect people's businesses. When you use somebody's business to get fame, and then you rise to power, then you forget them. It has been seen on television, the Mama Mboga that took William Ruto as the president, as a presidential candidate to Bomas, who introduced him as if she was going to government, she was forgotten. And she has cried that she was betrayed. And that kind of betrayal is traumatized. So this trauma that people are going through, many people are quiet because they are feeling that the president is too strong. The president is threatening everybody with, I have a sword, I have this, I have that. But for us here, we don't want to focus on that. We want to focus on, can you just compensate these people for the goodwill? Or at least give us evidence of the permission they gave you to use it. Anywhere the president talks, whether it's in the New Year message, he said he is sorting out Mama Mboga and Boda Boda. Anywhere they give report about the state of the nation or the economy, it's always that Boda Boda and Mama Mboga are benefiting. The question is, do you know any Boda Boda? Do you know any Mama Mboga that has moved from being a Boda Boda and Mama Mboga to be in government? If you know any, then the president is right. But if it's not the case, they need to compensate how he used them to get into fame and power without actually making them feel this goodness they have got. So this petition has been filed. It is now sitting with Justice Mugambi. The court will give direction on the date of listening and mention of this case. It is our hope that Watu Boda Boda actually, and the court will be able to give the Boda Boda people actually justice. So we are pleased to say that we have given a certificate of urgency that as they continue talking about Boda Boda Mama Mboga, they continue again to infringe on the rights of the owners of the intellectual property. And I also want to add the Boda community, the Boda Association as Linda Jamii. Let us go and register the copyright of Boda Mama Mboga so that no one can touch it. I know we can go to Kipi and register that goodwill. Kenya Kwanza cannot qualify to be able to register that as goodwill and cannot register that as copyright. Tunataka they register that thing as goodwill and copyright so that they can gain from it. And I want to say that the issue of goodwill is an economic tool. Do you know that the value of apple, just the word apple, if you want to buy it, it costs $675 billion. Coca-Cola is around $560 billion. What about Boda? When you walk to this town, in Malindi town, Kilifi town, Nairobi town, the thing you cannot miss to see a Boda. But you might miss to see Kenya Kwanza, which means that it's a very big brand which is dominant. M-Pesa is powered by Boda. And they bring a lot to the economy. So we cannot allow them to risk. And why we are doing this, Linda Jamii, why we are asking the court to respond, is because we are afraid that if we continue this conversation until 2027, when things start getting hot, some people might even go to attack some of these people because people think they're the ones who created the government that is here and they are not enjoying it. And I want to urge Kenyans, please, when you meet somebody of Boda Mama Mboga, please treat them with respect because it is not them that took these people to power. These people rode on their popularity, fame, and goodwill to become, to form the government, and they have not benefited from it at all. So let us not have politics of them and we and them. All of us are Kenyans, we have a government, but let us have this peaceful, lasting environment where we can talk together. And I hope that if this Boda and Mama Mbogas get the 460 billion shillings wired to them through their circles, the way they'll decide is up to them, they can be able at least to uplift themselves from where Kenya Kwanza promised to uplift them from, but actually have left them. Because I'm sure they are suffering more than they thought they would. Thank you.
Jina langu naitwa Karisa Fagio, mimi ni mkazi wa Malindi na tunafanya pamoja na Linda Jamii. Hasa wito wangu kwa sasa hivi naoelekeza kwa vijana na kina mama kwamba kufikia mahali ambapo tumesimama imebidi tutafute mbinu mbadala, kwa sababu shughuli zile ambazo tunazifanya sasa hivi haziwezi zikatupeleka mahali popote kama akili zetu hazitopanga mpango mwingine tofauti. Tumejipata katika njia panda kwa sababu tulipochagua serikali ambayo iko mamlakani sasa hivi tulikuwa na matumaini makubwa. Tukasema tunatoa mabwenyenye, tukasema tunatoa wale watu ambao walikuwa wanapora nchi, tukasema mambo mengi. Lakini kufikia sasa hivi mambo yameharibika zaidi kuliko vile tulivyo. Sasa tusipoteze muda, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku maisha lazima yaendelee mbele. Tuko na ndugu zetu wadogo, tuko na jamii sisi wenyewe, tuko na watoto, maisha lazima yaendelee mbele. Ningeliomba kwamba tukusanye nguvu zetu, tuanze kufanya kile ambacho sisi wenyewe tunaweza bila kutegemea serikali. Ukiamka asubuhi, tafuta kazi ambayo unaweza ukafanya. Kama ni kuanzisha biashara, kama ni kuanzisha ukulima, kama ni kufanya jambo lolote lile ambalo linaweza likasukuma maisha yako mbele. Tuachane na maneno ya kusema kwamba serikali haifanyi, kwa sababu hata ifanye namna gani, serikali ni ya muda na muda utafika itaisha. Na Malindi na Kilifi yetu hii ni lazima tuijenge. Kitu ambacho nataka nikiongee kwa uongozi wetu wa hapa Kilifi.
Kwa majina naitwa Mutembei Usanga, nikiwa kiongozi wa vijana ndani ya Kilifi County, na niko hapa kuongelea masuala ya economy ambayo there is a betrayal wave within the country. Kila mtu ameketi akiongelea masuala ya economy, na hii ni kwa sababu ya kuwa tunaona hata wale watu wa chini ambao walikuwa ni the target wakati wa campaigns wameachwa nje. Watu wanalia huku nje, sio bodaboda, sio mama mboga, hata vijana. Na ndio maana hata tukiangalia ndani ya nchi yetu ya Kenya, tunapata kuwa kuna rise ya youth gang, rise ya insecurity. Ni kwa sababu kuwa mpaka vijana wameamua watoke huko nje, waende waweze kujitafutia. Sasa whatever we are demanding here today is to make sure that whatever is rightful for the citizens goes to the citizens. This is a cry that we have as the citizens of this country, citizens of this nation, Kenya. We want what is meant for the citizens to go to the citizens. Wale ambao wameenda koti kuhakikisha kwa masuala haya yanatekelezwa ama yanaangaliwa kwa kiundani, basi koti isimame. Let judiciary be independent. Wacha watu wa parliament nao pia wakuwe independent. Kwa sababu tumeangalia pia ile muingiliano wa hizi bodies pia pelekea mpaka mwananchi naye pia amekuwa mahali ambapo sipo. Kwa hivyo kilio chetu ni kwamba whatever is right, whatever is meant to go to the citizens, let it go to the citizens.